Bailey is working on putting a transmission cooler on his third gen. This is the D-rail one that we run on everything. Had nothing but good luck with these things, so we continue to run these. And he's basically making a mount. Do you know where you're going to mount it about yet?
Not really.
He's still just trying to figure out where he's going to put it on the truck. It's going to go underneath the truck, but there's kind of limited space on this cab configuration, so he's working on figuring that out now. We've just been kind of cleaning up, hanging out around the shop today. We got Mason's truck moved. We have a lot more room with it like this. And we just got his front cover on finally. You guys knew we were struggling with the repair sleeve. He got the new repair sleeve on it with a new seal, new gaskets and everything. So this thing's not gonna leak any oil. And he's just putting his APPS bracket on while the engine is out of the truck. So everything's a lot easier to get to. And at this point, I think we're pretty much about ready to stick this thing in, aren't we? So we're gonna clean some engine mounts up, clean them up real good, bolt them on the engine, and then we're gonna set this thing down into the truck, and we'll just be able to start hooking stuff up. I mean, at that point, we're pretty much ready to start on taking his transmission and switching it into a new. We got to take all the guts out of his trans, put them into that one. I know I've told you guys before, but if you're new to the channel now, you know that's why we're gonna be doing all this. We have to take all the guts out of that, put it in that one because of the cracked case, and yeah, that's just pretty much where we're at. So the motor's about to go in. I have my 12 valve engine that I'm gonna use in the shorty over here on a stand, and I'm just kind of trying to evaluate what parts I'm going to use on it and everything. Like I took like the fuel pump and stuff off. Just trying to make it easier to clean it up. Just getting a lot of the parts pulled off of it that I don't need. A lot of grease and stuff on this thing. I'm not gonna go crazy with tearing this thing apart. I mean, it's literally just gonna be changing like the oil pan gasket, rear main seal, tappet cover, and front main seal, and timing cover seal, valve cover gaskets, intake gaskets. I'm not gonna pull the head off of it right now. And yeah, probably put a water pump on it while it's out. Maybe exhaust manifold gaskets, maybe not. I mean, it doesn't look like they're leaking, so I'm not gonna change them. And we'll just be able to get it in the truck faster because this stuff will eventually all come off at some point anyway. So for now, that is the plan. And yeah, so without further ado, we're gonna get some engine mounts on this thing, get it on the cherry picker, and get it stuck in the truck. Alright guys, we finally got the motor in. I am pretty excited. I think Mason's pretty excited as well. Big stepping stone and getting stuff done, and you guys can see from the time lapse it went in fairly easy. Cutting that cowl really helped a lot, and you guys can check it out. Looks really good with all the billet in there. Got that pump cleaned up real good. Intake shelf polished. Mason just kind of
real good on the phone.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, but I mean it's really nice. And Mason is actually just cleaning his lines off, and then we're gonna put the injection lines off. We obviously left those off so that way the chain didn't bend them. So he's gonna put those on, and then yeah, we're probably just gonna clean up a little bit, and we might start hooking some stuff up. We already hooked this throttle linkage up. We were thinking about maybe trying to start it tonight for you guys. All we'd really have to do is put fuel to it and put a starter on it, and we could technically fire it up, but we're gonna wait on that. We're gonna get some more stuff hooked up. We want to just take our time, at least get the turbo on it. We do have to get a little spacer block to bring his turbo up because the compressor housing will hit the manifold, so we do need to bring that up a little bit. And yeah, so Mason's sticking his lines on. Man, it just looks so good. Like whenever everything's out of the truck, it doesn't look that good, but as you start putting it all together, the work starts to pay off. The dogs are excited. Went in fairly easy. And you guys have these second gens, you know, pulling the motor is kind of a bear just because this cowl meant more than anything. Trying to get that oil pan over the cross member and then not smashing the cowl at the same time. So us cutting this cowl out did help a ton. And yeah, he's just tightening his lines up now. So we will follow up with you guys here shortly and we will see where we're at. Guys, a couple hours went by now. We got our fuel cell, we cleaned it up a little bit. It kind of had some grease and stuff on it. We touched up the frame in the back had some surface rust. We got the cell mounted. We got some little rubber bushings here underneath it to kind of help with the vibration. Got it mounted down. We got our, and don't laugh about that being all scratched up, because we had to cut this AN line down because our suction line is obviously a lot shorter now. We had to cut this section out of it. So trying to reuse AN lines, absolute horrible idea, just order new ones. But we did it anyways. And we got it hooked up to the pump. And now we're gonna run our factory, or our, I don't know why I said factory. We're gonna run our pressure side line from our air dog pump up to the engine. And Mason we've ran into a little bit of an issue where the APPS bracket is kind of in the way now of the factory, or not, there you go, same factory again. APPS bracket is kind of in the way of this fitting here, so he's going to take it off and try to modify it a little bit, cut stuff out of it, and see if we can get the straight air dog quick connect fitting to go on there. So anyways, while they're messing with that, I'm going to go ahead and push some fittings into this hose and start routing the line under the truck up to the P-pump. So at that point, we will have all of our fuel lines from our air dog to the engine hooked up, and then we'll just have to hook up our return line from our engine back to our fuel cell. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. Alright guys, I think Bailey's pretty much wrapped up his trans cooler. Corey's finishing it up right now. Let's jump down here and see what is going on here.
This is a trans line holder we just made.
Nice. Nice. Hold that out of the way. Looks like he's got some AN fittings. 1/4 inch to AN, dash 8, 1/2 inch hose. He's just tying some up to kind of keep those out of the way of the drive shaft. So rather than run that hose up and over, which we've done that before in the past, but let's see where this cooler's mounted. It's really nice, honestly. I like that. That's cool. He's got two little pieces of that square tubing. He's welded onto his frame right here. One down here on this side, and then it doesn't look like it's attached to anything up there, but it's not welded to the body. Obviously you wouldn't want to do that, but it looks like it should hold fine. These trans coolers are really light, so I don't see it ever breaking. And then that way he has really short trans lines, like really short ones. So yeah, 48 we built in this thing, still holding up strong. I think Bailey also put a new drain plug in his transfer case. The one that was in it was kind of messed up, so he went ahead and switched that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Guys, we got the motor in the truck. We got the fuel lines all plumbed, minus the return line from the engine back to the fuel cell. We got our throttle cable hooked up, our hydro boost lines hooked up, starter installed, dipstick in, engine filled up with oil, oil filter on, oil drain tube on, oil feed fitting in, coolant bypass installed, valve cover on. I don't think he's gonna run this valve cover. I think he's gonna run another one, but yeah, we've got a massive amount of work done today, and yeah, we really knocked a lot of stuff out on it. We got the fuel cell completely mounted, and I think Mason's gonna come over tomorrow. We're gonna mess with the gauge cluster a little bit, maybe button up some other stuff on the engine, but got our new fuel line routed here and fuel cell mounted. So we really made a ton of progress today, and yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching again, and we'll see you guys on the next one.